Hello YouTube, wonsnot here. Today we're going to be playing an alpha build of Oxygen Not Included by Klei. The same folks that did Do Not Starve. I've only got a few hours in this game, just enough to really familiarize myself with the controls. Here we go. So we're going to start a new game. Okay, let's see what duplicates we can get. And I love that name, Death Supernova. I'm going to keep that. Let's see. We've got Max, Rosalind, and Elvis. Let's take a look at some of their attributes. We've got a level 8 scientist, a level 6 miner, and a level 4 runner. Let's see. Max is uncultured, has no appreciation for the finer things. He is a biohazard. He's going to be getting sick a lot. Uh, Rosalind is an early bird. She wakes up early. That's really good. But she's also a narcoleptic. She will fall asleep anytime in any place. That does complicate things every now and then. Elvis over here is also an early bird, but he's got gastrophobia. He does not like to cook. Let's see, I'm gonna shuffle Max and see what else we've got available to us. Virgil. He seems to be good at just about, well, he's capable of doing just about anything. I think I'm gonna keep Virgil. And Rosalind, I'm sorry, but we're gonna have to shuffle you two. Lots of athletics and lots of digging is nice, but we need a bit more varied skill set for this beginning of the game. Not quite. Still not there. I'd like to get another jack of all trades. Ooh, that's nice. Diver's lungs. That's also nice. There we go. Amphibious can move as quickly underwater as they do on land, but she's a loud sleeper. It's not that big of a deal, but she's good at quite a few things. I think we're gonna keep this group. Your crew is awoken from miles beneath. Your crew is awoken miles beneath the surface of an unfamiliar terrestrial body. Oddly, they have no recollection of how they got there. It might be best to just start digging. Okay, quick. I'm gonna pause and go over some of the controls and the information on our screen here. So up at the top left, we've got the number of cycles, so days, so to speak. Since we don't really have a sun, we need something like this. We've got the pause control, the speed, so we've got slow, medium, and fast. We've got our population, amount of stress, and the available food. So food is going to be a big deal all the time, and it's just going to be a bigger deal the more folks that we have. So basic controls. Use the WAS and D keys to pan your camera and the mouse wheel to zoom in or out. Your simulation can be sped up or slowed down using the buttons at the top left or by pressing tab, and space will pause or resume your game. Okay, up at the top right we've got jobs, so little check boxes for everybody and what they're good at. So Elvis cannot perform the cooking task, and the darker each of these squares are, the better they are at the job. So over here under harvesting, Elvis is not very good at harvesting, but he can do it. He's very good at generating power because of his athletic skill. Let's see. Vitals. Current information about the folks, the duplicates in our colony. Daily reports. And research. Research is not available yet. We don't have a research table. and overlays. This is going to come in really handy, and I'm going to zoom out here a little bit just to kind of show it off. So, oxygen overlay. Here's your legend, and we can see that there's oxygen over here, oxygen over there, no air here. A little bit of oxygen with the water, and let's see, I don't see any bad air, but when that shows up, it will start causing our duplicants to be stressed and sometimes even die. Power overlays. We don't have any power yet. As soon as we get some power, we'll be using this to help maintain our power levels and make sure everything's hooked up. Temperature overlay. I have never run into a situation where temperature was big enough of an issue to do something about. That may change later on as our colony gets bigger. Light overlay. Light is going to decrease the stress on your duplicants, and we need light. When we get around to producing our own oxygen, which will be very soon, seeing as we don't have any ways of producing it right now and they're just going to keep using it, light will enable the algae that we're going to collect to produce oxygen. Liquid plumbing, kind of the same as the power. This is what it's going to look like on the machines when we place them down. And it's also going to show us the pipes and whether they're connected or not. Gas plumbing, more of the same. Decor. So your decor is going to lower the stress of your duplicants. And the priority overlay. We don't have any priority set for anything just yet, except for the ration box. This is going to be a huge part of gameplay. This is how you get things done. We can take a quick look down here at the bottom right. We've got the preset priority for the tool. So if you need to set a high priority to, say, dig, you click on dig and you set the priority, and it will come in as that priority. See, there's a 9. Just what we set it to. Right now, it's not that big of a deal. But we do want to start digging. Harvest. Harvest is for things like these plants over here. They will grow up. They will become harvestable. Like this muckroot, it is a one-time use item. You harvest it once, it's done. This mealwood, on the other hand, has multiple harvests, and it takes quite a bit longer to grow. Prioritize. If you've already placed a priority, you can change it. So I can drop this down to a 1 or put it back up at a 5. I can place it as high as a 9. Sweeping. So as your duplicants mine, a lot of times they'll just drop whatever they mined onto the ground. And you need to send somebody to go pick that up and stick it into a storage container. Mopping. That's for liquid messes. That's going to be a really big deal if we run into contaminated water. Deconstruct. You can set it to deconstruct all wires, liquid pipes, gas pipes, or buildings. I haven't used it a whole bunch, but moving some tools and things around, that has come in handy. And cancel. That's a cancel, build, dig, whatever you've already placed. Down here on the bottom left, we've got the things that we can build. So these are things that we could build if we had the right resources. And this, the gas permeable tile, is something that we're going to have to research to be able to use. I'm going to be spending a lot of time down here. Okay, well, let's set up a dig and get them started. We'll go ahead and read those tips. Colony management. Duplicants are generally self-motivated and do not need to be individually managed in order to perform tasks in the colony. You can use the dig tool in the build menu to give them tasks. And duplicant movement. If you click on a duplicant, you can see their path. She's already where she needs to be. Elvis is already where he needs to be, so you're not going to see his path. And to deselect, you right click. That comes in handy too. Off we go. I think probably our best course of action starting off early on is to dig straight down. We want to be able to get water, and we also want to be able to get over to this air because there's a oxalite producing oxygen. We've got some here, we've got some here, we've got some here, and those produce oxygen for us to breathe until we can create our own. This stuff, algae, really good stuff. That's what we're going to be using to create our our algae farms. And I think I need to go ahead and build us a storage compactor. I'll just stick one right there. And let's see. Build us some tile. That'll work. And you notice how this storage says not allocated? I'm just going to allow them to stick everything into there. And I think, yeah, we're going to need an outhouse and very soon. So I'm going to go ahead and prioritize this as a 6, something slightly higher than average. So they'll go ahead and finish that out. Let's go ahead and speed them up a little bit. Okay, quick pause. You saw Virgil go up and start breathing real hard with an O2 over his head? Carbon dioxide sinks. So as they dig down, they have less and less oxygen to work with. And you can see that in this overlay. Where it gets red, that's unbreathable high carbon dioxide. So to fix that, I'm going to have them dig out a little bit of this oxalite. And I'm going to go ahead and set that priority a little bit higher than average. Put it on par. Actually, let's go ahead and make that higher priority than digging. Turn this on, and you can see the oxygen filtering through. Oh, and now we've got some copper. Copper is going to play into our research. It's also a pretty big thing. Let's get rid of that overlay. I'd like to get this finished, and I'd like to get it finished fairly quick, but I would also like to open up this area. I'd like access to this mealwood and the oxygen that's being produced here, also the algae. Oh, here's some bad air. See it showing up yellow? Chlorine. It's not good stuff. And let's see, the liquid. That actually doesn't show up under liquid. This is contaminated water. This slime here, that's bad news. Slime produces that contaminated air and water. We don't want to touch that until we've got a way to take care of it. Okay, and so we've got a source of water and a source of oxygen down here. Let's take a look at the air overlay. Got good air down there, good air up top. Good news. So for this space down here, I want to level it out a bit. They're not going to be able to reach all of that. But in this leveling, what I want is I want to go ahead and start putting down some, well, I'm going to have to research it first. I want to start putting down those algae farms. There's an algae deoxidizer, converts algae into oxygen. That may be one of our best first things to put down because it is so accessible, but it takes power, and we're not quite ready for power yet. That is high on the priority list though. So, unbreathable vacuum, we're going to have lower pressure once we break into there, but we need that, and we need the space. Let's take a look at it as it happens. Over time, you'll notice there are gas permeable blocks and not gas permeable blocks. This copper is not gas permeable. That's why our oxygen isn't leaking into there. Let's see. Compost. Compost is something I want to research fairly early. Let's have these guys dig this out real quick. So I'm going to get rid of that overlay, and I'm going to have them dig up, well, not all of that. Actually, none of that. If you dig under something like this, you lose its stability and it stops functioning. But I want them to get that algae, and I want them to get that algae now. That's going to come in real handy in a minute. And I'm going to have them avoid this oxalite. I can also have them dig this out. Yeah. Giving more availability to that oxalite. So, I mentioned having to sweep before. They will sweep that. And she can't go anywhere because she can't get out. So I'm going to change the priority a little bit higher than average once again to these so that we can get her out. And I want to put down a manual generator and a battery to make things last overnight. I think over here I'm going to be putting a lot of storage. She's still stuck. She can't still be stuck. She just doesn't want to go anywhere, I think. I'm going to build some tile out so she's got a more accessible way out. She just climbed on top of that rock. She's not stuck. Let's go back to base, and I want to put some storage. Yeah, and I run into this a lot. It's very nice to be able to place and place that quickly, but it does get annoying when you place too many. So these guys are set to sweep that. They also need to sweep that. We don't have any electrical wire yet. It can run through tile, but if it runs through something like plain old dirt, it will destroy the dirt. Oh, and they're grabbing food. That's good. There we go. They're finally sweeping. Let's see, stations. the first step is one of these research stations. As far as research goes, that is our first step. And you'll notice some of this oxalite has gone missing. It is fully oxidized. And it says we've got insufficient oxygen creation. And that's very easily believable. We don't have any actual oxygen production set up yet. Well, once this research station is done, we'll be able to research that. Because we wanted to, let's see, where are you? It's under oxygen. We want to build an algae terrarium. They're very efficient. And we also need to power the research station. Let's change its base priority to higher than average and the generator to higher than average. And I want to prioritize these electrical cables quite high. See what I said about it not doing that? You can't just run bare wire. It does not like that. There we go. No fabrications queued, no research task selected. So let's take a look at our research real quick. Farming tech, algae terrarium, and a compost bin, and a planter box. All three of these are incredibly useful. We're going to go ahead and set it to research that. Fabrications queued. Good point. This novice research, we want to select it and have it continuously generate that. And it requires dirt to function. Let's see. I'm going to put some tile out to here to make getting at this and that water easier. Oh no, Elvis, come on. Let's deconstruct his block. And we're going to set that priority to very high so that we don't lose one of our duplicates. He's going to run out of air very soon. There we go. Now I want to rebuild that tile and hope he doesn't get under it again. There we go. That's much better. And standard priority on dig. And I want to get this algae out of here. Oh, we get a new duplicate. Let's pause it and take a look at who's available. So unlike the very beginning, we can't reshuffle. So we take one of these three or none at all. And Birdie is looking very nice with ambitious and night owl. She's very athletic, she's good at digging, and she's got a fair amount of strength. The attributes on each of the others are nice, but she's amphibious and a night owl. That's relatively rare. I'm going to pick Birdie. Welcome to the colony. tiles, get a little bit more tile to make reaching that stuff easier. Let's see how much research we have. We've got 7 of 20. And you'll notice that some of these have 2 numbers instead of just the one set of numbers. We're going to need a supercomputer to research these points. Oh, they're cleaning up. Good. Down here's where I want to put the algae plant. Let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'd like to replace this with tile eventually. And go down 1, 2, 3, 4 and start building another level. Well, that is the end of day 3. I think I'm going to take that as a good place to stop, and I will see you in the next one.